We're at Coyote Creek today, and we're going to do a bow build on my new Mathews Lift. All right, Stace, here it is, the 33.
Good choice.
I haven't shot this long a bow. I mean, I've been shooting the Lift 29.
Yep.
But figured for a little longer range stuff, I'd go with this one.
Couple out west.
I don't think I've got enough of this, so she's pretty stout.
Okay. Well, the nice thing
Got it
is,
set
I mean,
at
we
80
can
pounds right now.
80. You gonna stay there?
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
going to try.
Okay. All right.
But I got to shoot a Cape Buffalo, so.
Perfect. All right. Yeah. What do we got for accessories?
So I brought all the accessories, HHA sight, Mathews drop away, low profile quiver, all the stuff that integrates into the riser.
Perfect.
With the stabilizer and the quiver and sight.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So yeah.
Nice streamlined package.
I really want to just walk through, on video, the build.
Okay.
And what we're doing with it, and why we're doing it. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah,
and
we
then
can
we're
do
gonna
that.
Get you pulling it back.
All right.
And tuning it. This is something new. HHA got new,
New light.
rechargeable lights.
Oh, you're gonna like that.
Oh, it's awesome. So HHA, I love their sights. I've never shot a one pin before, and I started shooting the one pin.
Yep.
And they've just made me so much more accurate, especially long range. You don't got a stack of pins in there.
Right.
But they just come out with a sight light that goes on top of it that illuminates that pin, especially when you're in a blind, lower light, late evening, or like Stacy hunts in the dark a lot. The sight light is going to be a top seller because it's rechargeable and it's easy to use.
So the nice thing with the integrated rest is it comes from the factory pretty much preset for knock height and center shot. So it really takes one of the steps out of the way. Yep.
Out.
So you kind of get it set up. Knock height is where it needs to be. Center shot is where it needs to be. And then you can just fine tune from there if you got to push the rest in or out a little bit, or if it's a little bigger tear, then we can go to the top hat system and kind of manipulate the cam inside the limbs. But for the most part, it's kind of a set it and forget it kind of thing. I mean, this whole integrated system, they started it back about 5 years ago with the Verdicts and then through the V series, and this is kind of the culmination of the whole system. Now to come from like the Phase 4 last year to this one, they chopped almost a pound off the weight of the bow, a little faster, same quiet, smooth draw, just a really good system. And for you guys going out west, longer shots are kind of the norm, especially in this 33-inch, a little more stable platform. But to be able to bring all the weight of the accessories into the center line of the bow, you don't have the big bulky quivers, right. Sight brackets, all this stuff on the outside of the bow. Yep, way more streamlined, kind of get it into the center axis of the bow.
So what are you doing there?
So I'm just checking the knock point. So when I put the D-loop on, that the D-loop is in the right spot. But like I said, with this, so with the rest.
Are you dead on with this thing?
I generally run about a 16th inch knock high. So as you can see, bottom knot, top knot. So when the top knot gets on there, it's going to sit right about a 16th high.
Just slightly high.
Just a tad bit high.
Why is that?
Just it seems to tune better there. Every bow's a little different. Like the old no cam way back in the day, dead level, absolutely perfect. Most of the Mathews that I've tuned just seem to tune a little bit better with a knock high, slightly knock high. So we just kind of run it that way. The beautiful thing with the new integrated rest, it's all micro adjustable. So if we get kind of a wonky tear in it where we have to move the rest up or down, very simple, we loosen this screw head right there, and then our adjustment is right there for up and down.
Oh, yeah.
And then broadhead tuning, if we have to push center shot in or out a little bit, there again, micro adjustable. There's our tension screw, and then there's our adjustment knob. You can click it in or out at very slight movements, so kind of makes it handy.
Right. So you're just putting on a D loop right now, and
Yep.
most people are all going to these things, right?
Oh, yeah.
Not really going off the old string like the
No,
old days.
no. This, I mean, it's so much more efficient. You get a cleaner shot release coming off a D loop. Less weight on the string. You
I'm
don't
shooting
have.
the True Fire release.
All right.
New True Fires.
Yep. That's the new Edge. Great releases. We sell a pile of them every year. It's just one of those companies that have been around forever, you know. So not really sure where you anchor. So that all kind of determines where the peep height is, but we've kind of got a standard deviation, so to speak. So what I'm doing here is just checking the cam timing, make sure that they hit at the same time, and they're awful close. Comes fully upright about the last inch of the draw cycle. You don't want too much tension in the activation cord. It's kind of that fine balance. Too much, it doesn't drop quite quick enough, and if you don't have enough, obviously, then it doesn't drop either. So kind of got a little baseline of on certain bows of how much tag line kind of keep out, and then I just draw it back once before I finalize the knot.
I'll do that for sure, and then I'll get this video going.
All right, so that looks pretty good right there. So then I just do a very simple, like an overhand knot, just to secure it. So the string comes through and sits on the bottom side of the serving, so it can't ride up at all.
You know, I've been with Mathews since the very, very beginning. I think almost 30 years plus now.
Right?
I've been shooting Mathews. Never shot another single bow in my life. I mean, maybe way back in the day I shot something else, but
Right.
when I got into the industry, it's always been Mathews. And I remember, like, when Mathews came out with, maybe it was Z Max or, you know, those bows, Ultra Max or something
Yep.
like that. And we're shooting like those, and we're like, man, they're never going to be able to outdo this bow.
Every year.
Every year.
It's the same thing. That's the pinnacle. What are they going to do to make this better? And every year they do. All right, so this is part of the bridge lock system. HHA kind of teamed up with Mathews. Their dovetail setup sits right inside the riser. Again, just kind of bringing everything from the outside to the center of the bow, just kind of streamlines the package, makes the bow a little more balanced.
What's your true opinion with all this integration in the riser?
I really like it. Just like I said, and I shoot the 33 myself. So that little longer platform, having everything sucked into the middle of the bow.
Streamlining.
It really streamlines it, but they balance so much better now with everything. And, you know, half of our customers, I've got a front bar, and I use the bridge lock stabilizers. I have a front bar and a side bar, but I also hunt with a non-detachable quiver. So I always, even though it's as low profile as it is, with all that weight of the arrows on one side, I like to counteract it with a sidebar. But honestly, with these,
they're so balanced.
They are, you know. Really. And for me, I like a little heavier bow. That's what I really appreciate about the Lift this year. Being as light as it is, I can put the weight where I want it. So I can really kind of fine tune how much stabilizer weight I have the front off the back to get it to balance.
Even and their stabilizer, you can slide it in.
Slide right through, yep. And
back and forth to where you find that true balance.
Absolutely. And that's the nice thing with it, is it's so adjustable now. Some guys are running 10 or 12s, and if they think it's too much weight out front, loosen one knob, push it back in, find that happy medium, and you're ready to go. So just a great all-around system for sure. Now, what I did for you, I did a rough third axis adjustment. You'll be able to tell when you get out west if you're shooting a lot of real steep downhill angles. I've got it a rough set right now. For me, typically when I do it this way, it works out just fine, but we all shoot a little different. But as you're practicing at home, shooting from elevated, you'll be able to tell if you're getting any variance left or right, shooting down from an angle.
Will that matter if I'm shooting straight?
Nope.
Flat?
Nope. So the third axis, think of it as a door swinging in and out. So if your third axis is off, maybe it's in too much. If you're shooting at a distance, the pins actually mimic being pushed to the right. So on a downhill shot, if it's closed, you're going to pull everything to the right. If it's opened up, so once that's true center, so as you're practicing out, getting your sight tape 20 through 60, if everything is lining straight up on flat ground, you go to shoot at elevation. If you're off left or right, very simple adjustment. Loosen the top screw here, and then there's a set screw on the outside of the sight, and that'll pivot that head in or out to fine tune it. So, got the sight, got the rest. The quiver, I really do like this quiver.
Oh, this thing is money.
Like I said, I shoot with a non-detachable, and I started doing that for turkeys. Because how many turkeys I've lost.
I can take that off.
Absolutely.
That's what I like about it.
And it's a nice long plane that if you want, like if you're out west, and if you don't want to stick it in your backpack, I mean, you can keep it on the bow. It keeps everything nice and tight.
But so lightweight, but no vibration.
Right.
What would you recommend a person that's just getting into bow hunting or never been to a pro shop or, never really shot a bow? Give me a quick recommendation about what they should do and how they do it.
Find a good pro shop in your area. We've got wonderful staff here. We got a great manager in Mike and Ethan, our supervisor. We do one-on-one lessons. If you've never shot, that's the best way to do it. Come in, find a good pro shop. We've got plenty of youth bows on hand that we can run you through. And try to keep it as simple as possible. Don't overload anybody with too much information. Keep it simple, keep it fun. And what we find is the kids that really take to it right away, they'll come into a couple lessons. Now they're screaming in mom and dad's ear, I want my own bow, kind of thing. And we've got the line from Mission Archery, the Mission Hammer, fantastic youth bow, adjustable 17 to 29 inches, 10 to 70 pounds. It's a bow that a 10-year-old can grow with through their teenage years. So a lot of great options out there.
Before they get into a new Mathews Lift.
Exactly. So, all right, so the quiver, very simple. You got your top mounting bracket and then your locking bracket down here, and this thing goes on and off. So simple. Pivot it in up on the top bracket, slide in through the rail, and there's your locking tab. And there it is.
That's a simple. And if I want to pop it off quick?
Super simple.
Just
yep. And there's
off.
some tension on there. Yep. So you pop that forward. There it is.
Huh.
Super simple.
Right. It's honestly one of the best quivers I've ever used.
It is. What I'm going to do now, I just roughed in that peep sight, like I said. So I'm going to put one tie around the middle of that to keep it from flying out. Then I'm going to grab one of your arrows. We're going to go back and run it through paper and just make sure that everything's coming off true. And if it is, great, we can finish setting the peep height for you. If we got to do a little tweaking with top hats or anything, we'll do that the next step. So I just do a very simple 2 around and square knot it off. Burn it.
Don't be hitting my string with that.
One strand.
I have shot nose buttons a lot, and I like them, so I think I'm going to throw one of these Bomar buttons on there.
If it's that consistency, I mean, that really helps coming back.
Just locking everything in.
Knowing that my head is in the same position every time.
That's what I really like about those because, I mean, once it hits your nose, you know it's there.
Right, exactly. There's no mistaking
It's spike.
All right, let's start there. Now, I'll have you draw this back, and then we can kind of set where that needs to be, and I'll cinch that in. All right, so we're going to come up. Does that peep line up pretty good with your sight housing?
Mm-hmm.
Very good.
Slightly needs to come down, slight bit. Move that nose button down. Pretty good right there.
Very good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's a beast.
I mean, yeah, I've been shooting either. Joker said is that at 80, right at 80 or slightly over 80?
They generally
Feels
come
like
in a couple
slightly over
pounds,
80.
hot to start.
Whew.
All right, Pat, let's draw this back one more time. You let me know.
It seemed pretty darn good.
The nose button looks good. As long as that peep is lining up with the sight housing, should be good. What we're going to do, Pat, I'm going to shoot it through paper, just kind of see where the tune is. Definitely have you shoot it also. You and I may have different grips. I know the arrow that you're going to go on your Cape Buffalo hunt with is going to be a little stiffer spine, a little heavier arrow.
Yeah, it's my whitetail arrow.
Perfect. So a little lighter spine may react a little differently out of an 80-pound bow than your typical 70. So let's just see how close we are through paper. We'll do a final tune for this setup when we have one of the heavier dangerous game animals. Yeah. But let's see how close we are right now. So I'm going to shoot one just to kind of get an idea. Then I'm going to have you shoot it also. Just differences in grip and face position. Sometimes they tune differently for different people.
Oh my God, I'm impressed.
All right, that actually shoots really well out of there. So
what are you looking for here?
So here's what I'm looking for. So there's the shaft,
Yep.
Center of the arrow, and here's the 3 fletchings. So the shaft is going right through the middle of the fletch.
So you're saying this is good?
Yep.
Okay. That thing is.
All right. So just a subtle, little different. I mean, so you're getting just a very slight right tear. Yep. Slight right tear.
Same as I had before.
Yep. So, like I said, I don't want to do a lot of pushing and pulling on anything until we actually shoot the arrow for that specific hunt.
Oh,
If that, like I said, that's going to be a little stiffer spine.
So I'm taking this to Africa right now. It's set at 80 pounds. What do I do? Do I just crank it down for whitetail season? I want to go to 70, or would you go with different mods?
The great thing about the switch weight that Mathews has now is there's multiple weights and draw lengths on each mod. So on the lift, you can go 55, mods. 60, 65, 70, 75, and 80. Yeah. If you're going to tune it down a little bit for whitetail, I would just come in, put a 70-pound mod on it, keep it maxed out on the limb pocket. Just get a little more efficiency out of it. All right, so 3 light adjustments or 3 light settings on this new HHA light. So as you go through, you can see how it really lights up that pin. We got your bridge lock stabilizer mounted, the HHA sight light. We got that put on for you. Those ready to go.
Everything tied in?
Everything's tied in.
Nice. Can't wait to give it
a whirl.
Yeah. Hopefully a big Cape Buffalo, right?
Right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Got to thank everybody here at Coyote Creek here in Rochester, Minnesota. They're a great pro shop, so if you're in the area and you're looking for a new bow or get something set up, check these guys out. But yeah, there you are. New Mathews Lift 33, all dialed in. That thing spins true. Well, we're back at the Driven headquarters, and I forgot to touch base about my broadheads that I'm going to be shooting, going into Africa and also for the upcoming whitetail season. But one of the heads that I love shooting, and I've shot it for years, is the NAP. It's a Hellraiser, and it's a 125 grain head. Super tough. It's a fixed blade broadhead, so don't have any expandable parts to it. Paired up with a Bloodsport Judgment 350, and I got Flex Fletch SK2s. I mean, this arrow flies awesome, even downrange, long ways. So yeah, we're gonna go out and take a few shots at the morale and get this bow sighted in, and we should be ready to go hunting. There we go. Bullseye. Man, just a few shots and we're dialed in. I'm really liking this new Mathews 33 lift. Awesome shooting, super quiet, no vibration, just ultra smooth. Love it. So, hey, well, I think we're all ready to go hunting. Next time you see me, we'll be in Africa holding up, hopefully, a big old animal.